Colorado Bureau of Investigation denied gun licenses 20 times last year because the person who applied was a convicted murderer. The one time it happened in September, word spread very quickly to the home of Wally Long.
It's very concerning.
On March 1st, 2011, 12-year-old Gideon Long shot and killed his parents in their home in Burlington on Colorado's Eastern Plains and nearly killed his siblings, shooting and stabbing his 9-year-old brother and slitting his 5-year-old sister's throat. Wally Long is Gideon's uncle.
It's just so evil and so just terrible. You can't make sense of it.
Police never figured out why Gideon did it, but 6 months later he pleaded guilty and a judge sentenced him to 7 years in juvenile detention. He was released in 2018 and seemed to be living a quiet life until last September, when he was arrested for trying to buy a gun in Larimer County.
It just bothers me that somebody who's been convicted of murder with a firearm was trying to buy more guns.
Gideon walked into Shields All Sports in Johnstown, police say, and tried to buy a 9mm handgun. According to the arrest warrant, Gideon lied on his background paperwork, checking the box that he had never been convicted of a felony. Colorado law prohibits convicted felons from buying guns.
I would be concerned if he was living next door to me, that's for sure.
Wally says he's especially concerned by what he describes as Gideon's recent pattern of lies.
He enlisted in the Army back in March of 2021 or 2020 and was in boot camp before his background check came back that he was a convicted felon. Of course, they discharged him and kicked him out.
9 Wants to Know has confirmed with the Army that Gideon Long was discharged last September before completing basic training. They would not say exactly why, but did confirm that soldiers who lie on their applications are either discharged or court-martialed.
He's not faced up to the fact of what he did.
And there's more. 9 Wants to Know has learned that before Long tried joining the Army, he was certified in Colorado as an EMT, emergency medical technician. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment says on his application, Long stated that he had never been convicted of a felony. His certification has now been suspended.
The pattern of his life seems to be falsehood and lying, trying to get what he wants.
Gideon's latest alleged falsehood could land him in prison. When he was arrested last year, he told investigators he was buying the gun for a friend as a gift and thought his record had been sealed and that he didn't have to disclose that he had past felony convictions.
He knew that he had these felony convictions.
9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor says even if Gideon believed his case was sealed, he was still required to disclose his felony convictions.
He literally checked off the box saying, I don't have a felony conviction. There wasn't any qualifier. So he clearly violated the basic language of that application.
I'm kind of hoping that the prosecutor in this case will throw the book at him.
Wally says in his heart, he has forgiven Gideon for killing his parents, but is still haunted and deeply confused by the murders. 10 years later, have you been able to make any more sense of this tragedy?
I have not. I have gone over it and over it in my mind from every angle, and I can't figure out anything. There's nothing that makes sense.
According to court records, Gideon is now out on bond and living in Loveland. Wally says he's hoping his nephew is convicted of the gun charge he's now facing and that he won't be a free man much longer.
The charges he has against him could land him back in prison, and I would honestly rather see that.
Matt Jablow, 9 News.
And Gideon Long is also accused of violating an order of protection that prohibits him from buying or possessing a gun. His next court appearance coming up at the end of the month. Long's attorney declined to comment on our story.